7654321.
From Cafeteria Film Studios in Little Havana, Phresh presents Que Bola, where we talk to various movers and hustlers who are popping off and succeeding in the 305 and at the same time influencing the culture. I'm your boy D Fig. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street. Ew. Yo, what's good, my people? I hope everybody's doing great, having a wonderful holiday season. We in this mug enjoying ourselves. Office parties popping off, all the good vibes are in the air. You know what it is. In this episode, we sat down with some of the influencers in the Funko Pop world and collectibles world. The collectibles world is something that's foreign to me. I'm not one of those collectors, but I do happen to enjoy a lot of sci-fi characters and storylines and things like that. We had the privilege of having my boy Martin, UMcanes1882, Vincent from Just a Geek from the 305, and Seth from what's_poppin._ on IG. You know what it is. These guys are doing their thing on YouTube. They doing their thing on IG, repping this Funko world. And I just had a chance to, ask them a couple questions, see what's popping in their world. Without further ado, let's get into this one, all right? Listo. Checking in checks. Rex and Effects. We're in another episode of the Que Bola podcast. Thank you so much to everybody listening. Thank you guys once again. I appreciate you guys for following the podcast and keeping up with everything that we're doing with all the guests that we had up so far in our second season. And we have a new addition to our second season lineup, the gentleman of the fine world of collecting pops and all other types of things we were just discussing a minute ago. I'm going to let you start off introducing yourself from the top.
I am Seth. I have a channel on YouTube. It's called MCE, which is Marvelous Collectibles and Entertainment. Me and my buddy George share the channel. Basically, what he does is that he handles statues, reviews. He does tech reviews sometimes. Also does the tech reviews and some other stuff. And then as far as I go, I am the Funko Pop guy. I mean, I live and breathe these things. I also collect Marvel Legends. I also collect Hot Toys, which are just more upscale, more expensive figures. But yeah, I've been doing this for about 2.5, 3 years. The channel's grown really significantly in those years. We've got about almost 13,000 subscribers.
Wow.
So I just got broke personally the other day, 2,000 followers on Instagram. So
nice.
We did a giveaway last night on our Monday night live stream that we do. We have another show that's called That Geek Show.
Okay.
So we usually get a bunch of people on from the collecting industry, and we all bullshit and hang out and talk about This Week in Geek.
This Week in Geek.
So if you want to get technical about it, but yeah, it's been a fun trip. So
Okay.
it's been pretty cool. But I appreciate you having me on.
No problem. Thank you for coming on.
Well, my name is Vince. My Instagram and my YouTube is Just a Geek from the 305.
Just a Geek from the 305.
Just a Geek from the 305.
All right.
Little cool thing.
I'm gonna change mine and call mine Just a Geek from the 954.
954.
And a rivalry.
I've been doing Funko Pop collecting now for a little over a year.
Okay.
We've got to now over 600 subscribers on YouTube and on Instagram, and it's been a ride. It's been fun. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this guy.
Don't put me on the spot like that.
It's true, man. It's true. We collect pretty much almost every genre of pop, but it's been fun.
Okay.
And I love it. So
That's what's up, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
thank you for having us. Thank you.
My name is Giuliano. Middle name Martin. A little easier, you know how it is.
Martin.
Yeah. Well, I've known Darwin years.
Throwback.
So I appreciate you inviting me to your show.
No problem, buddy.
This is an awesome platform.
I appreciate you introducing me to this collectibles world.
Man.
So basically, yeah, Giuliano, you introduced me to all you guys
Yeah,
and
right.
everybody else who's part of that world or that industry. I went to a collector show in the Mikasuki,
Shout out to BTL Collectibles.
BCL Collectibles, baby.
BTL Collectibles.
Orlando.
Yeah. Orly.
And that was my first foray into really trying to get to know what the collectibles world is all about. I've seen these things, all right? These pop things. I've seen them here and there. But Giuliano was like going crazy. You know what I'm saying? On the IG, putting them. I'm like, yo, what's good with this? So and like we had a little conversation. He's like, yeah, man, there's a whole world of self-described geeks. You know what I'm saying? That are like all into this and like and there's a whole world behind it, you know? So I wanted to bring you guys on the show and talk about this, like how it works. How did each one of you guys stumble into this world? Is it something that you start off watching movies and you love the movies, or how does it work?
Well, first off, I'm sorry to interrupt. First off, these are for you, sir.
Are those for me?
Those are for you.
What? Thank
Remember
you, buddy.
You were
So
telling me that.
we got a Phoebe and a
Ross
Oh
from
my
Friends.
God.
From Friends.
That's what's up, yo.
So it's like they say, everyone's a fan of something, right? So
Oh my God,
you
dude.
had mentioned that the BTL Collectibles show that day that your girl would love those.
Yes,
So
that's why I was just, bro.
there you go.
This shit is ridiculous, Ross. Get it.
No, what's gonna happen now?
Geeking out right now.
Yeah,
I know. I got an intro.
No, you know what's gonna happen now, right?
He's
He's
gonna-
gonna bring those home. He's gonna show them to his
Yeah,
girl,
I
get the
know.
set.
and then she's gonna be like,
We need the rest.
"You
I
know,
want the-
two aren't good
Yeah.
enough."
I want the set.
No,
I want
for
the
sure.
set.
You guys just set me up, basically.
This is how it starts.
That's
This is
his,
how it starts.
and this is how it starts. Yes.
Legit, because
So-
I already know she's gonna want the rest of the friends, so I'm already gonna be like hunting for the rest of the friends out here. But thank you
That's
guys.
the,
I
There you
appreciate
go,
it.
You
Seth.
said the main word there.
The hunting. Yes.
Hunting.
That's the main basis of this whole thing. You
Yes.
gotta go out there and try to find what you want.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
You know, I give my buddy George a lot of shit because you know we always joke when we're doing that geek show that we do Monday night where you know. I'm like, I'm different from everybody else because I go out and hunt. I go and look for this stuff. I track this stuff down, you know, where he's like, oh, I hunt for stuff too. And then I go, well, dude, sitting in front of a computer and searching on eBay technically isn't hunting. I'm like, you got to get out there. You got to hit the streets. You got to
Hey,
find
man.
that shit.
Don't be
So-
knocking that eBay life, because sometimes when you like fighting with somebody
Yeah,
over
but
something,
it's not the. But you know what? It's the excitement of actually finding it in person.
yeah.
That's
a whole
the whole.
nother
That's
feeling,
the whole
yeah.
deal with it. You
Yeah.
know.
It's the instant gratification.
Listen, I can easily sit in front of my computer all day and just buy these things left and right and search, but then it wouldn't be entertaining. It would just be some fat schlub in front of a computer that's that's buying stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
we see
that's
that.
buying stuff.
We see that all the time.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Sometimes getting up at I've gotten up at 2, 3 in the morning, driving to Disney World, and getting a Disney World exclusive pop.
Yeah, we've done it. We've done it.
Oh, you don't know about those Disney trips, those Disney park exclusives?
I mean, first of all, I hate
Man.
I'm not gonna say I hate Disney because I don't want Disney to be fucking with
Disney,
me,
we
but-
welcome promotion.
But Disney, I don't have any kids, so to me, Disney is a foreign concept. I remember Disney when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I went to Disney recently. I would say 4 years ago. Like within the last 4 years, I went one time, and it was just like, I wasn't having it, bro. I was just like, man, this is not the experience that I remember as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I loved everything. As an adult, all you really just see is a shitload of lines and expensive stuff. You know what I'm saying?
It's even worse. It's even worse now, to be honest with you. Those lines are getting ridiculous.
Well, yeah, you got to understand too. As a kid, you have no conception of what patience is.
Yes.
Yes, true.
You know,
Or money.
So
Right. True.
So
Exactly.
while you're having a blast, you know, your mom and dad are probably like, I'm never coming here again.
Yeah.
I never want to do this with these kids again. It's like they're driving me
$15
up a
hot
wall,
dogs.
you know. And you know, for a lot of you know, I have this conversation with a lot of people. Like, I didn't go to Disney for the first time until I was 18.
Oh.
So I never got to experience
Wow.
the child aspect of it.
Disney, yeah.
So it's like going there for the first time when I'm like 18, I'm like, really? I'm like, this is it? This is what everybody's making the big deal about?
Yeah.
And it's like, I still feel that way today. But when I go with my wife and my kids, you know, when I look at the fun that my kids have, of course, yeah, it makes sense.
Makes
and then
sense.
I'm like, man, I really missed out on some stuff. And then I call my mom and dad up and I'm like, well, why the fuck didn't you take us to Disney? You know,
It was
so it's
expensive,
like-
son.
so it's like, why couldn't you just take us to Disney?
Annual pass, no.
So, you know, but I get it. You know, like me, I'm not a person that has a whole lot of patience. I do not like the line ride.
Yeah. You definitely have to have patience as an adult to go to Disney, and even more so to go to hunt a fucking pop.
That's what the thrill of it is, just driving all the way up there.
time
And,
out.
you know.
You pay for an entrance to go inside.
Well, if you're an annual,
Well,
if you're
yeah,
an
I know.
annual pass holder.
Oh, okay. So you guys like skirt it by
Yeah. But
so-
there are people who are not annual pass holders that pay for a 1-day park pass to whatever park is going to have the exclusive, and they go there, but they make it worth their while. They make it worth their while because a lot of the people that do those 1-day buy those 1-day passes to go to get this stuff.
Yeah.
They buy them in bulk. Disney puts them out. Usually the max quantity you could buy is 10. People go ahead, take them, they resell them, they make their money back for the ticket plus what they've, plus they make money on what they've sold. So at the end of the day, the 1-day park pass isn't a big deal.
Yeah, it makes sense for you economically because you're paying it off with the if they go with somebody else, it's probably like they could get 10 too.
It's 10 per. It's usually whatever it is. It's usually 10 per person.
Yeah.
And then obviously as they start to trickle down in quantity, they change. Like it'll go from 10 to 5 to like only 1, depending on how many.
So how did the phenomenon start with Pops? Like how was Pops? Was Pops the first? I remember that like collectibles for me start in my head is like Beanie Babies, right? I remember thinking like
Those were big.
Yeah, back in the day, Beanie Babies were like, bro, like people were going crazy, going to McDonald's to find the McDonald's Beanie Baby exclusive or whatever, this and that. And that's what I remember of collectibles. And then like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Pops thing started. Do you guys know the origin of it? Like how did it start?
They have the movie. They have the movie that they did that's on Netflix. It was like a documentary that they made about it. And I mean, it was just something creative that came out of nowhere, and it kind of took, and then it just grew, and they started getting licenses for all different kind of brands, like like Friends or DC superheroes, Marvel superheroes, movies, and then it just snowballed from there. I mean, there's not one category that they don't put out that there's not one Pop at least for someone out there in the world.
And there's different size Pops. I see this.
They have 10.
What's this like?
This is a 10. This is a 10-inch.
That's a 10-inch.
And then
it's called 10-inch, not like extra large.
No.
Small, medium, large.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, this is a 10-inch. The other ones over there are 6 inches.
Okay.
And then now they just recently are getting ready to release a 19-inch one, which is just Batman.
19-inch Batman.
It's only going to be one.
Yeah, this thing's like
so far.
Yeah, this thing's like massive. So eventually, if it works out, then they'll produce other characters. Probably.
And the 6 inches are the ones that are the regular ones that you find everywhere.
Yeah, well, and you could find the 10-inch ones regularly at stores.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I haven't seen those. So then the Pop world came about, and then each one of you guys went into it in your own way. Talk to me about that. How does one start collecting Pops? What is it about the Pops that start?
Well, these started back in '99, if I'm correct.
You started in '99?
No, these started in '99.
Okay.
No, I just started about I would say my first year now in November is my first year officially.
Your first full year.
First full year. These started popping up in '99, and there was just like bobbleheads, right?
Okay.
Started out with a bobblehead, I guess. They were able to get into a Universal Studios store, sell them there. Big Boy. Big Boy was the first bobblehead that they actually had been able to license.
What do you mean?
Bob's
Big Boy Burgers.
Oh,
From
okay.
California.
Yeah, like that,
So-
that dude who holds
Yeah,
the
Correct,
the burger.
yes.
Yeah.
So
The
that
checkered
was-
suspenders.
Yeah. That was the first bobblehead license that they were able to get. So they started selling them. It just kind of blew up from there. And the whole thing he was saying about people buying in stock and getting their money back. Well, if you own that Big Boy now, that's probably like worth a couple $1,000s.
Wow.
So people who were collecting at that time, who were able to get their hands on things these things were like probably like $10. They're $10, $15 now, $10 now. I don't know what they were back then, probably less.
Mm-hmm.
Those are worth now anywhere between $300 to, there's even one that's $16,000. There's one that's about $20,000. So if you were able to get your hands on them back then, you lucked out on a good retirement plan right there.
Yeah.
So,
like if you would have had 10 of the $5 ones,
and
now
you think about
thousands.
it, oh my God, you hit yourself so
Jackpot.
much because you're like, if I would have started collecting alone in 2010, although that whole line from, let's say, the original Marvels line, which Seth had the privilege of having, the original Avengers set, that whole set was worth like $2,000 at one point.
The whole set or individual?
That whole set.
No, the whole set.
And each one was $10, which we call them commons. Commons means you can find these anywhere. Any store.
Yeah.
Right? If they're exclusive, they're only exclusive to that store, like Hot Topic, Box Lunch,
GameStop,
Target, GameStop, right? So those are
FYE.
Walmart, those are worth a little bit more, but the $10 ones, and you're talking about you turn a $10 investment into a $300 profit.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
right.
That's a crazy X profit. But nobody really considered that when it started, right?
Nobody did,
No,
man.
I mean, listen. I mean, it's fun. It's funny. I always love telling this story about how I got started. So so it was Father's Day, maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
And my wife and I'm a huge, just like these guys over here, we're huge WWE wrestling fans.
Okay.
I mean, I've been into wrestling since I'm a kid, going back to Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and Bret Hart and all those guys from the '80s and all that stuff. And my wife was in the store shopping with my kids, and she's like, well, let me buy this for Dad, and you guys can give it to him from you. So she had bought me a Hulk Hogan pop, and I'm like, man, this thing is actually really freaking cool.
Yeah.
So I started to see which other ones were made, and what other brands they have of them, like superheroes and whatnot. And then next thing I knew, 700 pops later,
Wow.
I was like hooked. But the
700 later.
but the funny thing is now my wife constantly on a regular basis now gives me shit for spending money on this stuff, when all I have to do is look back at her and be like, this was your fault.
Yeah, you started this.
You're the one who started this. You can't be mad at me because you got me addicted to something.
Yeah.
That's like me going to buy drugs and you're like, hey, you can't do that. Well, you got me addicted to it, so it's your problem.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
But
You're the first one who gave me some of that weed.
so when first
Started this.
Yeah, so when people, when I can't speak really for Vince and Giuliano, but for myself, and I've come across talking to other people. So when you first start out collecting, you just buy
Everything.
You don't care what it is. You just go out and buy.
Okay.
And then eventually, what winds up happening at some point down the road, when you hit 700,
Yeah.
not saying that that's the exact number, you look at this and you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do with all this shit?
Yeah.
And then it turns into, okay, well, let me take the stuff that I can live without
Okay.
and maybe sell it or trade it, for the stuff that you do want. So basically, I took the stuff that I didn't want, I scaled down. Now I only have maybe almost 400 in my collection because I narrowed it down to the exact lines that I want to collect.
Okay. Well, that touches on something that I wanted to talk about. There's two avenues in collecting these right now. There's the financial aspect of it, where you're trying to find something that you think is gonna give you a good rate of return, and then there's the addicted. I just want to have it.
Well, that's more like me. I'm the addicted. I gotta have it because I don't really collect for financial gain. I don't look at this. Listen, I always joke with everybody, and people always leave comments on our videos like these things are gonna fucking drop off like Beanie Babies did, and then I'm just gonna be left with a 2-cent piece of plastic.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. I collect it because it's nostalgia.
Okay.
These things. I look at these little things, and they just, they make me happy. They make me feel good inside.
All right.
Sentimental value. Sentimental
I'm
value.
in the little borderline of both, you can say.
What do you mean by both?
I'm into it for the financial reasons.
Okay.
Right? But they do also bring you nostalgia because there's some that I do want that I don't have yet, and they're a little up in price.
Yeah.
Thundercats collection, for instance.
Okay. Yeah. For
The
sure.
Thundercats collection.
Thundercats are cool.
I'm
They're
after.
so cool.
The He-Man collection, I'm after.
Yeah. It's childhood things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, do I buy hoping they go up in price? Of course.
Yeah.
Now I buy 2 at a set or 3 or 4 at a time. It got to a point when I was buying about 30.
Yeah. At a time.
At a time. And you even notice I buy 20 to get a chase, which is out of 6. You get one that's
worth something?
That's not worth something, but
It's 1 out of 6.
It's a
1 out of
different
6.
variation of what it comes out as, So I do it for that part sometimes, but I also like to help out, and see if I have something extra.
Yeah.
I sell it at regular
price.
Right. So every now and then you'll see me post, hey, if anyone wants this, it's either we call it at a pop price.
Yeah.
Like
pop price is regular price.
Right. Or when there's let's say there's a pop that comes out that's an exclusive and you buy it for $15 and it pops up to $35.
Okay.
You sell it for that price.
But all right. What determines that? Is there like a
The
stock
hype.
market for that?
It's the hype.
It's I wouldn't say it's the hype. I would say it's more of resellers more than anything, because there are two price guides that people use for this. There's PPG, which is what they call Pop Price Guide, and then
There's like a website.
yeah, and then there was another thing called Stash Speedia, which now Funko actually bought.
Okay.
And they use that, and they redesign the app and everything, and they use that as like a price point too. But how they figure out the pricing and everything basically goes off of private sales. So like me selling something to you, or what it goes for on eBay.
Okay, so eBay plays a big part.
Yeah.
eBay, Macari.
So then what they do is that they average it out, and that's how they figure out what the value, what the going rate is.
Like for example, the let's say the 20 the Tiger, 10 inch.
The 10-inch one that came out?
The 10 inch one. There's a 20 Tiger 10 inch.
Okay.
Beautiful, gorgeous. We got it for what?
I think it was like
45.
$45.
And immediately as soon as it comes out, you see people reselling it for like
90,
80,
100.
90.
Okay, but anybody could put anything for anything. You know what I'm saying? But how does that have to do with like how is it gonna be priced? Like one person could be like on eBay, be like, oh, I'm gonna put this at $90. I just bought it for $45. Does that mean it's really worth $90, or does that just mean that
It all starts with the first buyer, bro.
At the heat of the moment, yeah.
First buyer.
Yes.
Once there's a buyer that buys the pop for that price,
they're
it
kind of
starts
like setting the
trending.
market?
Exactly. It starts trending.
And there's no way you can manipulate that? Like you
course.
just have
I
your
mean,
friend buy a $400 one or some shit, you give them the money.
Yeah, they do that. Believe it or not, they do that. Who was it? There's a Ghost Rider pop. It's metallic. That's so exclusive only for the San Diego Comic Con from like about, I want to say like years ago, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
probably. Or it's 7 years ago. Right now it's at $600. At one point, that pop was $4,000.
What?
That's the highest that it peaked at.
So
Alright?
somebody bought that pop for $4,000.
You say a couple people probably bought it for $4,000.
A couple people bought it for $4,000.
There's a Venom variation right now that came out in the last Comic Con in San Diego. That is the actual mascot of the Funko, which is Freddy Funko, as Venom.
Oh, they have their own.
Yeah, they have their own. So he imitates there's like different variations of him, like as Venom, as like Big Boy, as different characters.
Okay,
right?
so he's playing that character.
Correct. So they did one as Venom. The same day that came out, and only because there was only about 200 of them, or like 20,
No,
sorry,
24. It's 24
of them.
pieces.
24 pieces. It went up to like $4,000 that same day. And you could only get it if you were in San Diego at the party, invited.
There's
to
an
the party.
event, yes.
So
That they hold every
So they
year.
make it extra exclusive.
extra exclusive.
Extra.
There's one of 10. There's one of 25. One of 300. The more limited it is, the higher in price it goes.
There's an Ant-Man.
And
Pretty-
Funko is the one who sets the limitations on
Yes.
how they're okay. So then Funko basically has a grip hold of the market.
Well, not a grip hold of the market. They just this is their product.
This is their product.
Yeah.
Right.
You
There's
know,
no
so
there's no
they-
competition.
Well,
like, at the
except for
moment.
that like whack ass Billy the Marlin that someone made.
The Marlin Spark one?
They made
I should have
like a
brought the
knockoff
Billy the
thing.
Marlin one,
They made like a
man.
knockoff one to give away at like during the Marlins
A
game. It was
bobblehead,
called,
yeah.
It was called like a little pros.
And it looked like a Funko
Yeah, it
one.
looked like a foot. Well, I
Maybe
wouldn't
that's
say
a special exclusive.
Yeah, right? It's not.
But you know,
Little
but-
bit exclusive.
So I mean, okay. So these collectibles are. This is just a line of other collectibles, right? Like there's also within this world of Funko Pops. There's also like comic books and like statues.
You
and,
can
like-
match the pop with the comic.
Oh, okay. So it'd be like a combo.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
like we have a buddy, our friend Chris, or Dex Funko.
Dex Funko.
Dex Funko, shout out.
He does a lot of stuff on Instagram where he takes pictures of like a comic that's like a first appearance or
Mm-hmm.
like a special one, and he has the pop that coincides with it. So he does like a glam shot of the comic and the pop next to it, which is kind of cool. So again, everybody is into different things. I also don't do Funko Pops. I also do Marvel Legend figures. I also do Hot Toys. Hot Toys are really
What are Hot Toys?
Hot Toys are really expensive action figures that are like different world. I would say
Oh, that's like the Iron Man that you guys showed me at the BTS.
No.
No.
So that's a
Oh, okay.
statue.
That's a statue.
Holy shit, bro!
That's a
What the
statue.
hold up, dog? There's statues, there's hot toys, there's all right.
So this hot toy is basically like a 12-inch, like a 12-inch action figure, but it is super detailed. Especially when it comes to like certain characters, like the Iron Man one. Like a lot of the pieces on the figure itself are die-cast metal.
Okay.
And these figures run anywhere from about $250 up to $1,000.
Okay. So like the Funkos is one thing, is Hot Toys another brand?
Hot Toys is another brand. That's another type of line of, like he said, collectibles. That's an action figure. But as he was saying, they're so detailed, dude. If you look at the faces of these Hot Toys, it's like you take Michael B. Jordan and put him in a little box.
Put Robert Downey and put him in a box.
Same detail of everything that you would see in the character itself.
And what's the difference between those and like the action figures that we were talking about?
The Marvel Legends?
Yeah, like the ones that you guys showed me at the BTS that you said, no, that's not a hot toy, that's a action, whatever.
The statue?
The statue.
Yeah, the statues.
So statues are basically like, they're, I guess,
There's different scales.
Yeah, there are different scales of statues that you can display, and they're made of different material, right? They're made of like, I would say ceramic, or they're made of PVC. They're different types
Plastics,
of material.
things like that.
Exactly. So the hot toys that he has, those are made of plastic, but the detail is like.
So the difference between
To the T, bro.
between the hot toy and the actual like structure is the detail in it.
The
So it
reason
makes-
the reason for the price difference.
Yeah, the price difference.
is because the statue is gonna always cost you more because statues are just they're handmade. They're
They're one-offs.
They're not produced. They're not one-offs, but they're built in bulk too.
So you can see, look at
This
the
is
detail.
what? This is
That's
a-
a hot toy.
This is a hot toy. Damn, that looks like
Right?
That's,
Look, they do the sculpt
that's
and
so
everything. and it
Robert
looks-
Downey
it-
Jr.
yeah,
right
it
there.
looks
So
spot on,
realistic.
like, spot on. And
Damn.
it's crazy, and it's all articulative. The head
Yeah.
moves, the arms, the legs move. They even have like light up features on it where the arc reactor will light up,
Yeah.
depending on who the character is. But yeah, they make these things like super detailed, super realistic. Like this one right here, this is about like a $600 one right here.
boy.
Now I got a Captain America. Captain America is my jam. So
that's what you love.
Captain America. I got my Captain. I can't right now, but I have a shield tattooed on my
Oh,
on
so
my
you're
arm.
really about that.
Yeah.
About
so,
that Captain
so
America.
I bought
life.
I bought a Captain America at a convention. It was $250.
Okay.
I was just at Tate's, which is a local watering hole for us geeks.
Okay.
Which is,
What do you mean?
It's a comic book. So it's a comic book like
Tate's.
shop.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I thought you were telling me. I thought it was a bar. No.
So so they have
Shout out Tate's.
Yeah, shout out to Vince. So they have they do a thing twice a year where they have like a tent sale where they basically take all the stuff that they couldn't move throughout the year.
Yeah.
And they put it in the tent and they sell it for like dirt cheap. I found a Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago for like $110, which was half off basically. So I bought that.
So it's a lot. It's just not the Funkos. It's a lot of things that you guys get into in the collecting world.
It's what you like.
It's a gateway, bro.
Yeah.
It's a gateway.
It's a whole different world.
So how like they always joke about how weed is like a gateway drug to
Yeah.
other thing. Pops is basically like a gateway drug into things like that.
collectibles.
So like it goes from Pops to Marvel Legends to Hot Toys. Then you're going into a whole nother realm with statues. Statues you can pay anywhere from $500 to about $5,000 to $6,000 for a statue.
That's insane.
So
dude. I mean,
on the way,
wow.
on
I
the
love
way. So
all
it's like-
of these action figures and all of these characters, but I don't know if I'd be willing to plop down $5,000 for like
Well,
for
it's
a
not.
statue.
It's not just that. Then you got to go to like somewhere to buy like the shelves and stuff. Like for us, we love IKEA. IKEA is your best
IKEA
friend.
is your best friend,
IKEA,
dude.
if you're listening to this
Yes.
podcast, we would definitely
Yes.
like a sponsorship. So if you could send us some furniture,
Yes.
maybe some Bestas, some Detoffs,
Oh damn! You know the names
Of
and everything.
course, of course.
You don't know what page of the catalog that is?
The Billies, the bookcases. Just send them our way. We'll do a
Billy
video. We'll do a video
Bestas.
on them on how we build them and display
So
them.
added to that is buying these Billies. It's like we have like 5 or 6 in our office.
Okay.
So in each shelf we have like, let's say what,
They can hold
10.
maybe each bookcase can probably hold maybe like 50, 60
50,
pops.
50, 60 pops. We're up to like 4. I started like
Stack correction.
we have like 400 now, so we're trying to dwindle down
voice.
like he is. So,
Wow, man.
but yeah, IKEA is your best friend, and
So
great.
what's other what other aspects are part of this ecosystem? Like IKEA already for like the freaking for their shelves, and there's like so many toys. I'm sure trading cards is part of it as well. You guys take them into your circle. Is it a big tent of collectibles? Is what I'm saying. Like, is it everything when you go to all those places? Is everybody's there?
I mean, collectibles can be anything. I mean, you know, like we were talking earlier, like, you know, Vince's wife collects cameras.
Yeah.
I mean, you collect what you like.
That's true.
You know,
Yeah.
It's very true.
I mean, but
I
as
collect
far-
watches.
True.
At a point,
Yeah.
you know, Invictus were all over the house. You know,
Victor's
they
was
were.
a jam.
You know,
Yeah.
I still collect watches. This is one of the things I love.
Yeah.
And then it went from watches to Apple Watch bands.
Yeah.
That had the whole setup with the bands, nice little case and everything, and then you kind of just move on.
I used to have baseball and basketball cards back in the day in a binder, and we moved around. I don't know what happened to them.
It's the hustler mentality, man. When we were in middle school,
Yeah.
we were collecting those cards hoping that they go up in price at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
Exactly.
We had that
Exactly.
mentality since we were in middle school, you know?
I'm
I have
about,
Marvel cards.
I'm about to say probably the most embarrassing thing I've
What?
ever said in my entire life, and it's going to be recorded and probably so back maybe 5 years ago,
Yeah.
my older son Ethan comes up to me and says, "Hey, Dad, I want to learn how to play Pokemon. I have no freaking clue how to play Pokemon.
Okay.
I don't know the furthest thing from it." So a guy that I happen to work with, so he knew how to play. So I had bought what they call a starter deck,
Okay.
and he had taught me how to play, so I can go home and teach my son how to play. So during down periods at work, we would go into his office and we would play.
Yeah.
So keep in mind at this point, I'm probably 29, 30 at this point.
Learning how to play Pokemon.
Learning how to play freaking Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to catch them all, but still. So I'm learning how to play Pokemon, and my son, I come home, I teach him how to play, and he just has no interest in it. What do? I continue on and keep playing. Because sports has long passed me by. My body ain't what it used to be. I
Yeah.
used to wrestle and play baseball in high school, and my body can't take that crap no more. So now I was playing Pokemon. It was competitive. It made you think.
Yeah.
It was very strategic. Next thing I know, I'm like $4,000 into Pokemon for card with cards.
Yeah.
Because there's so many cards and there's so many variants, and certain cards do certain moves to fuck up your opponent.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm playing at the Florida State Championship.
Whoa.
So out of 200 people that registered to play in this championship, I finished 60th. And that was the first major tournament I ever played in.
Yeah.
And that was the only tournament I ever really played in.
Yeah.
Because after that, I was like, fuck this. I'm like, this is just way too, like, I didn't realize like what I was getting into.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm playing this one match against this kid, and there's time limits on these matches.
Yeah.
And this one kid is literally drawing out the clock because he knew there was no way to win.
Yeah.
So if he drew out the clock and the match ended in a tie,
Yeah.
he would get a point and I would get a point, and there would be no winner. So I'm literally sitting here like yelling at this kid. I'm like, hurry the fuck up and make this thing. And the kid's like, don't yell at me, mister. And I'm like, play your fucking cards. And of course the ref comes over and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, this kid's dragging time over here. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm like, this kid knows he's beat, and he just and he's like, come on, son. He's like, you only get X amount of time per move. And he's like, oh, okay. So he puts down this card that basically stalls the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, the buzzer goes off, and it wound up in a tie anyway. And I'm a 30-something-year-old person looking at this kid. I'm like, if I ever catch you out in the hallway after this is over, I'm like, because that's just the competitive nature, you know.
Yeah.
Pokemon, I would say, was probably like the lowest point of my collecting career.
Listen, man. I downloaded Pokemon Go.
Yes.
And I
did
blame
too.
it on.
That doesn't mean anything. But that doesn't mean anything.
Listen, and I tell everybody it's because of my goddaughter. No, bro.
but you're not dropping money on cards.
Yeah, bro. So did you sell your card deck?
Oh yeah, I sold all the cards, made a good chunk of my money, my money back. Obviously, obviously you're gonna take a little bit of a hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I had stuff that people were like if you ever sell that, you need to let me, I need to be the first person that knows.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you want my shining Charizard? And it's like,
Hey, nothing's changed, bro. Let me
It's
know where you want to
crazy.
sell that pop.
so it's like, so it's like, yeah, I would say that was probably like the lowest, like the lowest of my collecting career. But
Collecting career. That's crazy. I mean, the collectibles world is fun. It's filled with all these various characters like that I'm sure you guys like. I went to the BTS collection here in the Mikasuki, and I saw the camaraderie between you guys. Like,
Oh, man.
it's crazy. Like, you guys are like taking me to every table. You guys know each and every single person. Does the city of Miami and like it's South Florida in general? Do you guys all come together and everybody knows each other more or less? And who's
Eventually,
collecting,
you
or-
run into someone, and like they say, bro, Miami's a big, small city.
Yeah.
Man. You always know someone.
Yeah.
And yeah, you cross paths with a lot of people. I introduced you to WDKP, right? Joey, aka
Joey.
Joey.
Yeah,
Shout out
West
Joey.
Day Kendall Poppers.
So
Joe?
they're their own community. Like it's a whole community that we all know each other, but not only in Miami.
Yeah, South
It's
Florida.
not only Florida, dude. This is like worldwide.
Worldwide.
There are people that we know that are in Europe, that are upstate, that are in Chicago, they're in New York.
cities, states, everything. I mean,
Yeah, man, Canada.
Yeah.
There's a guy in Canada, a young kid, 17 years old. Toronto.
And everybody gets starting to know each other because of the internet and things like that. They all.
There's also Funko groups.
What do you mean by
like on
Funko?
like on Facebook,
Yeah,
it's
Facebook,
like
okay,
yeah.
Instagram. There's groups that they always post like stuff that's coming out,
Yeah.
or what's coming out within the next year, or where hey, I was at such and such store today. They've got X amount of these left. If you guys want, they're there. Go get them.
Yeah.
It's like people
Also post,
it's
I'm
just-
looking for this, or hey, if anybody has this.
It's just people just trying to help one another out. I mean, for the most part, the Funko community is a great community.
Yeah.
Everybody tries to help each other out. I mean, I've helped Vince out. Vince has helped me, help me
Yeah.
out.
He has been very, very, very generous. This guy's
The
man.
Stop that.
the
Stop
This
man.
guy's the best.
Stop that.
This guy is the best.
So I'm not. Stop. So I'm humble. That's but it's but also doing YouTube
Yeah.
has led me to meet some amazing people.
Okay.
Like I've met Vince, I've met Claudia, I've met Giuliano. I'm meeting you now.
Mike.
So we've met our buddy OG Geek, who was supposed to be here, but
OG.
unfortunately he's not. You're with us in spirit, brother.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, and doing YouTube has allowed us to meet amazing people wherever we've gone. I mean, me and Vince, we went to New York Comic Con.
Yeah. Is
we-
that like the biggest?
No, the
you
biggest-
guys keep talking about like this place,
San
that
Diego,
place.
San Diego. Well, there's 3 big cons that happen a year for Funko.
3 big cons.
For 3 big cons that happen a year for Funko collectors.
All right.
One is in October, which is New York Comic Con.
All right.
The other one is like in February, which is Emerald City Comic Con, which is in Seattle.
Seattle. Wow.
And then the big one of the 3 is San Diego Comic Con, which is obviously in San
So
Diego.
that's 2 West Coast Comic Cons that are huge.
Correct.
So would I be safe to assume that the West Coast is like bigger in collecting than East Coast?
I
or-
would. It's hard because
You can say 50-50.
So the funny thing is that I always joke about this, and I say this with these guys too. Florida is the worst state in the freaking world.
What?
Because well, you got to understand. You're talking
You
to
mean Florida, man?
a New Yorker.
Yeah,
I'm
of
from
course.
New York.
So
So
North Cuba, bro. Remember?
this state is the last state to get everything.
I agree.
As far as collectible goes. So as far
For
as
real? Why is that?
Because everything comes in from the ports from overseas, from
Port
California.
of Miami. Port of
Nah.
Miami gets no
Nah.
But
love.
we're still the last to get them.
We're still the last to get stuff. Yeah, so I mean, we're always the last ones to get stuff. So especially for people like me and Vince who are content creators on
Yeah.
YouTube, there are people on the West Coast that get the stuff way before us. They put the videos out,
the videos
and me and him are left with the freaking crumbs.
Yes.
Not that I'm bitching and complaining,
Yeah.
because again, it's not so much about what we're showing in our videos. People watch us for our personalities.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
know,
Funko, get some shit out here in South
Yeah,
Florida,
exactly,
though,
for
dog.
real. So
Well, hopefully.
Give
they
us some
just-
love.
They just bought out SuperCon, right?
Reed Pop,
just
yeah.
bought out SuperCon, which is
Reed Pop.
yes,
which is
it's
another
a-
pop.
it's a
organization.
company that hosts a lot of the conventions.
correct.
Okay.
They run San Diego, New York,
Okay.
Seattle. So they bought out SuperCon, which is in Miami.
And they also bought
Okay.
MegaCon.
Oh,
in
MegaCon
Orlando.
too, which is in
MegaCon.
Orlando,
MegaCon.
Miami and Orlando. So I'm hoping now that they did that, get some things
So
done.
each
here.
one of those cons is like the Super Bowl of
Yeah, but
pops.
a Funko
A
basically
Funko Pop.
has-
You could say San Diego's the Super Bowl.
That's the Super Bowl one.
That's the Super
The
Bowl.
Funko sets up a booth. They have exclusives that are specifically for that con, and people come from droves from all over the world to go get these exclusives.
What would you say is like the prime demographic of the collectibles world?
For what, like age range, or
Just like in general, yeah. Like who are the people that you normally come across to all the time at the Funkos?
I mean, honestly, as far as Funkos goes, I would say anywhere from 18 to from age 18
40.
and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really hit a cap.
Yeah. You
You can't really hit
can.
a cap.
You can.
So like millennials in their like 30s, mid 30s.
Well, hey! You use that term loosely, all right? I'm not a millennial, okay?
about me?
You don't group me with those
What, you
people.
like Gen Z or Gen
yeah,
X?
Gen X. You
Gen X?
don't put me
Gen
with
X.
millennials.
Wow, you might be like
80s kids, man. 80s kids.
80s babies.
I am. I'm born in '83.
Oh, that makes you a
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
It's
does,
Gen
man.
X. It's
no,
Gen
man.
X.
You're a millennial if you're 83.
No, we're Zennials.
I guess
We're
I can just
Zennials.
fuck my life now and
Yes,
just go kill myself.
you're a millennial, homie G.
But-
Even if you don't want to claim it, it is what it is.
But going back to what you were,
Yeah.
were saying, like, it's led us to meet some amazing people. Like me and Vince, we went to New York,
Yeah.
and he's never been to New York, so I'm basically his tour guide around the city. We go into FAO Schwartz because we're like, hey, we want to go jumping around on the piano, like from
Yeah,
from
from
Big.
Big.
Do the scene from Big.
So
it was
we
awesome.
we walk right into FAO Schwartz. A greeter at the door goes, "Yo, what's poppin'? What are you doing here?" And I'm like, me and him are like,
Like, what's up?
yeah, like what?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, like what's up, man? I'm
you
like,
doing?
oh, I'm like, hey, I'm like, how's it going? And he's like, yeah, I'm like, we're in New York for New York Comic Con. He's like, oh man, he's like, can I get a picture?
He wants a picture.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know.
it was awesome, and I mean, even us walking around
Yeah.
the con, people stopping us and talking to us and everything, and I mean,
All ages.
all ages.
ages.
And I mean, it's so
Kids.
It's so surreal
Yeah.
because we do this for fun.
Yeah.
We're not trying to make careers out of this, but the fact that people look at us differently than we see
Yourselves.
ourselves
Yeah.
is like out there.
Yeah.
People come, like what was it, Diego when was with us. Diego pulled a guy that was a subscriber that was going around with us, pulls out Pop out of his backpack and looks at me and he goes, "Hey dude," he goes, "I would be honored if you can autograph this for me."
Wow.
And I'm like taken back because I'm
Yeah.
like,
I don't want to destroy this pop.
yeah, I'm just taken back by it. I'm like, this is unreal. I'm like, because I don't see myself the way other people
Yeah.
view me. In the grand scheme of things, there are other YouTubers out there that have way more subscribers than me.
Yeah.
That do way more than I do. And I mean, me, I'm just a little fish in a big pond.
But you have your pond, which is the Funko pond.
You
the
know,
pop
so-
pond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the fact that people stop us and they want to take pictures with us and talk to us, I mean, it's surreal and it's really cool and it's humbling because I mean, I can't speak for Vince, but as far as myself goes, it makes me feel that all the hard work that I put into this,
Yeah.
is, pays off.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
It's a
That's
lot of
that's
hard
an
work,
awesome
man.
feeling. I mean, yeah, it is a lot of work to be hunting and be looking for these things continuously, waiting for a new drop, waiting for different places to go get them. Like you have to go get like going to Disney World to get a pop. That's like so beyond me, but like it's something that you guys is a world that you guys are exploring and diving into and opening up to doors to other people. That's really what the people love. That you're opening up a door for them to come inside and look at these collectibles, to look at these pops. Like such a person such as myself that doesn't come into contact with these things regularly. I don't really know about this world. I could go on your YouTube, figure it out, be like, okay, I see what it is that you guys are doing. It's probably, I mean, from what I see, it's the camaraderie is huge, bro. Like you guys like build this like community. And I don't know if it's Funko or if it's the people who follow Funko. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think Funko is like thinking, oh, we're gonna build this community on the outside, or is just the collectibles people just came together? And
No,
said,
we all came together
Yeah,
as
I
one
think-
family.
Yeah, I think
At one point or another, you're going to run across people who are gonna help you out,
yeah,
and you have to have an open mind, and you have to have the kindness to be able to, return the favor sometimes. And that's what it's really about. You got to return. You build friendships, you build the camaraderie, you build a lot of following too, because like Seth said, he's being humble,
yeah,
but he's great on YouTube.
I wouldn't
And
be
so
here.
it's-
I wouldn't know
so it's
him
Vince.
if it wasn't
Here
for
we,
him.
here we go.
I would,
Here we
you
go.
know.
And the
It's
tears
true.
are coming.
And there's other
Hey, listen, let me
YouTubers
tell
that we
you.
know, and
Let me tell you, the first video that I saw on Funko Pops was Seth's video.
There you go.
And it was, for me, it was an eye opener because you're like you said, you're going in someone's world,
Yeah.
and you're seeing what they're doing. And he was in his lunch break going to go hunt for a pop,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, like what is it about it? Because my sister's the one that got me into into Funko Pops.
Yeah.
She got him into Funko Pops, and my first Funko Pop was a Buzz Lightyear from 2015 or something like that.
Okay.
That was in the Disney store.
All right.
And it was in my closet for years. I decided to take it out one day. I was like, let me take a look at this and see the value on it. It was like $100 at that time. I'm like,
Damn. That's awesome.
cost $11.
Yeah.
You know, she bought it at Tate's. Shut up, Tate's. You know, and
Where can I get more?
it's over.
Yeah.
that was
basically
the
it.
first one.
It's like catnip for
That's how it
cats.
started.
So that's how it started. And then I went from one. I said, you know what? Let me get one. Let me get two. Next thing you know, my room was like full of like 400, 500. And
I
you're
can't
like,
move in this room.
You can't move.
You're literally like crawling out of your room,
boxes everywhere.
you know. But it's amazing, man. It's a hobby. It's a healthy
Yeah.
hobby.
Yes.
You know, it's a very healthy hobby. It's better than a lot of other hobbies that people have that it's not good for you. So
What would you say is like something that you would tell the originally starting collecting Giuliano? What would you say to yourself, like, this is something you have to know before you go into this world that you didn't know then?
oof, man, let me tell you, what I know now that I didn't know then was the fact that I was late to the party because I didn't get my Thundercats pops that I could have for like a regular stock value.
We were all late to the party.
Yes, we were all late to the party.
We were all late, man. We were super late. We're super late to the party.
Like latest to the point as where I'm going back years before I even started collecting these things, passing them by in the store, and I'm like, who the fuck would buy those things?
Yeah, and now
And
you're
then-
the one buying those things.
and the funny thing is that I remember they made a set for Rocky.
Okay.
So they had Rocky Balboa, Apollo Creed, Clubber Lang, and Ivan Drago. I remember passing those in the store, not even batting an eyelash. That whole set right now is well over $1,000.
$10 original price.
$10 original, or
And it's
depending
not.
on.
And you know what? It's not for the value either because there are certain ones that I collect. Like I have the Friends original set. You know, I've been after that for a while.
Yeah.
Cost me whatever it cost me, but I'll never let this go.
Yeah.
Never let them go.
Sentimental value.
Sentimental
Yes.
value.
Oh, yeah,
I had
there's-
Yes.
the Toy Story. My man over here was, nice enough to give me a pop from New York, but the Toy Story set, never let it go, because those mean something to you, and those are the ones you won't let go. But if to tell someone, let's say if I tell a young me, let's say when I was 20 years old, if I were to collect those, man, you'd be set for life right now, man.
Oh yeah, you'd be a billionaire by now.
There's a couple of those that are very valuable right now.
I mean, there's
Absolutely.
$12,000.
So the most expensive one right now known to date is what they call the golden ticket 2-pack.
Yes.
It's
Golden
a
ticket
2-pack.
Willy Wonka.
So it's Willy
Willy
Wonka.
Wonka.
It's a gold Willy Wonka.
Okay.
And a gold Oompa Loompa. There's only 10 of these in existence.
Wow.
So normally what they do is that, and this is why San Diego is referred to the Super Bowl for, as you call it, for Funko collectors, because not only is Funko there setting up their booth, they have an event that they do every year called Funko Fun Days. It's like
Just there.
Yeah, it's $100 for the event. You go in, you get really rare exclusive stuff that is part of your purchase. Like, so you pay $100, you go in there, they give you a goodie bag full of stuff that's limited pieces and whatnot, and they do prizes and stuff throughout the night so you could win and whatnot. So one of the things that they were giving out one year was this golden ticket 2-pack. So there's only 10 of them in the world. I actually physically saw one in person when we were in New York. It's a $25,000 pop.
It's a 2-pack.
It's a 2-pack.
It's a 2-pack.
It's a $25,000 2-pack.
Wow. That's so much bread.
So-
son,
so-
for
so-
your
so-
action figure.
And people will buy it.
I say $25,000. You're probably running through your mind right now. Do you have any idea the shit that I could buy with
Yes,
$25,000.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
So yeah, man. So I mean, that is just ridiculous. I mean, we're even walking around at the convention, and I see this San Diego Comic-Con Dumbo with a clown face. The guy had the sticker on it.
$10,000. Right on the top. Oops, right on the top shelf.
Do you have any idea what you can get done for $10,000?
A lot.
Use your imagination, people.
A lot.
So I mean, it's crazy.
Nah, that's
But
crazy,
people pay for it.
Yes.
Because either they're addicts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or they want it as like a centerpiece for their collection.
Do you think those things will go up in value? If
So-
you buy it for 10 racks, will it go like to 15 racks or something?
At that point, I think I would assume that if you collect at that point something that valuable that costs you $10,000 is for yourself.
Because it's not going to restock anymore, so it's going to.
No, it's not even about restocking. It's just
buying Funko
it's for yourself.
Buying Funko Pops, in my mind, is like, especially if you're in it for the money aspect, is like buying stocks from Wall Street.
Yeah.
They constantly fluctuate in price. They go up, they go down. I mean, I have a Red Skull, which is one of the original Marvel ones. At the high point, I've seen it. It was over $1,000. The lowest I've seen it, which is now, which I think it's like $490, $450.
That's still $500 for a
$10.
For a sizable pump.
yeah, for this.
For a size.
Can I get this one and paint it red and call it Red
Yeah.
Skull?
You can see a pop like that's worth $12,000.
Yeah,
12 racks.
Yeah, so I mean,
I hope you
it's-
become 12 racks.
but they constantly fluctuate. So it's like playing the stock market.
Yeah.
A great segue too, because Funko has a stock market out.
Oh,
Invest
yeah?
in it. Oh yeah.
If Funko's public?
Oh yeah, they're publicly
They're
traded.
publicly
They're
traded
publicly
right now.
traded, yeah.
So if I was you, I jump in that.
Into the Funko world, do you think Funko has a lot of has a lot more to provide to the world?
I mean, there's
they do. They have other avenues.
there's a ton of things
They
that can
just
come out.
actually
Yeah.
came out with board games. They
Yeah.
have makeup now. They actually
Makeup?
they're in Ulta.
They have a company called Loungefly, which is
Loungefly.
for women, which is like purses and backpacks and wallets. They have other lines that they've put out, which are Dorbs. They do Funko T-shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, they put out.
T-shirts are very popular.
The T-shirts are very popular. They just put out a slew of product.
Yeah.
And
constantly.
And where are they from?
the West Coast.
They're from, but it's an American company.
It's an American company.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the original creator of Funko
Did
is
this out of his garage.
no longer the CEO.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but he's
The
still
founder.
he's still with the
He's
company.
still active in the
Yeah.
company.
Yeah,
still
but
a
he's
board,
not a
I think he's
CEO.
still a board member. Right?
He's a board member, right? So Mariotti is the actual CEO of the company.
Brian Mariotti.
He's actually a huge, if I'm correct, a huge DC fan, right? And
Yeah.
he likes to collect DC. He has a bunch of collectibles for DC, not only Funkos but bobbleheads, and he
Yeah.
has statues like
Batman,
life size.
Batman is everywhere.
He's a big Batman guy.
He's a huge pest collector.
He's
So,
a pest collector,
but
yeah.
he's smart though, because he goes out to what everybody wants. There's something that everybody's gonna want. I myself don't collect Stranger Things,
yeah.
but they have a huge line of Stranger Things. Like
Yeah, it's a popular show.
Yeah,
Stranger Things,
and
Game of Thrones,
different
you know,
series of Game
and
of
it's
Thrones. Yeah.
and people buy them. And
Yeah.
the least thing that you would think people would buy, people buy.
So you guys see a very bright future for Funko Pops and things like that.
man.
I think it's never ending.
For real?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's licenses for stuff that they haven't even obtained.
Nintendo.
Yet. I mean, yeah, they haven't made Nintendo stuff. Well, they are kind of breaking into Nintendo because
They
of
make
the
Nintendo
Pokemon, because of
over.
because they kind of are working their way into the Nintendo stuff
Yeah.
because they're starting slowly with Pokemon. They have the license to make some Pokemon
Okay.
characters. Me personally, I would love to see them dive more into the movie stuff.
Okay.
I would love a set of Police Academy pops.
Yes.
Yes.
I love Police Academy. Police Academy was
Yeah,
my shit
Police
back in the
Academy
day.
was the fun.
They need to make Top Gun pops. They haven't made.
Oh, they
Top
don't-
Gun-
haven't made
They
those?
haven't made Top Gun pops. I mean, there's a whole bunch of movies from the '80s like that. I just wish that they would touch on that. they haven't.
Bro, my favorite action figure when I was a kid, I will never forget it. I remember like bugging my mom to death to go buy it was the Ninja Turtles, right? The Ninja Turtles action figure, and then they had, I don't know, you can remember the Ninja Turtle that it was the evil villain that was like a robot. No, it was a robot.
The robot turtle.
Mechhead.
The robot
Mechhead,
turtle.
yeah.
Mechhead.
He was the Ninja Turtle that was
It's a robot, yeah.
a
Is there a pop?
robot.
Huh?
Is there a pop?
No, they're
There's no
making a
pop.
NECA. They're making a NECA figure though.
The
That-
NECA figures.
Those action figures were my favorite. I played with them like years. I was probably like still 15, 16, still playing with my action figures of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I loved them. Like those were my funk, you know.
So one of the things that I still cry about, and I continue to cry about to this day, I'm in New York. I'm a kid in New York. I'm 8 years old. I'm sick. You know, my dad wanted to do something to cheer me up, so my dad runs out, goes to Toys R Us at the time, comes back, brings me the original Optimus Prime. And I took it out of the box.
Yeah, you still thinking about the
I destroyed the box. I played with the shit out of that fucking thing, and
But that's what they were for.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like, now-
But again, if you knew now
Yeah,
what you knew
20
back
shit,
then,
if I knew now,
that
I-
shit
Oh, man, if
would've-
it's worth now.
I would
Listen.
have bought Google when it was $5.
No, not even that. You would have
Apple
invented
first.
Google. You would have invented Google.
Well, if you guys, how do you guys like put out your shows and things like that?
So as far as I go, I put out a video every week.
One video a week.
Lately I've been putting out more.
Okay.
But normally every Tuesday at 10 o'clock on YouTube on our
AM or PM?
AM.
Okay.
On MCE.
MCE.
you can find my show.
Okay.
Which basically I start filming. I started filming yesterday for next Tuesday's episode. So I start filming throughout the week. And then usually Saturday into Sunday, I'm editing and doing everything. And then, Monday I upload the video, and then Tuesday it drops. And then there are times where I put out other videos in between. Like the past 3 weeks, I've put out like 3 videos throughout the week.
That are just like other like ad-libs.
Just other stuff. Like Tuesday is like when I do my pop hunts.
Okay.
The other 2 videos I normally drop during the week, like I'm doing like an action figure review, or I'm doing like opening up a mystery box.
All right, but all in the collectibles world.
But all in the collectibles world. Every once in a while, me and my buddies will get together and we'll actually do like a trailer reaction.
Okay.
We'll do like a trailer reaction, or we'll go see a movie and then do like a spoiler-free review of it, and then we'll do an actual spoiler review.
Okay. Fuck people off and shit.
Yeah. Well, you like to give people people options. Like we tell people, like, hey, this is the spoiler-free review, and then when we get to the point where we talk about the spoilers, okay, this is the point where we're going to talk about this. If you don't want to know about it, turn it the fuck off.
Yeah.
It's like
Literally.
How about the Geek from the 305? How do you do your shows, man? How do you put them out?
No, we put them out every once a week.
Mondays, Tuesdays, or whenever?
Well, we do it. We finish it up on Thursdays, and then we usually put them out on the weekends.
And it's a lot of like what? Like hunting for the pops and things along that
Hunting
nature?
could be hunting for the pops. It could be what we call a mail haul. Mail haul is we order stuff, and then we go to the P.O. box, we grab it, and then we open them up and we show everybody what we got.
Okay.
We also go out to different pop hunts, and like for the Disney thing, we do a road trip.
Yeah.
Every once in a
A
while.
lot of exclusive videos, like
Yeah.
exclusive releases.
Yes.
Okay. Of what just limited editions that just dropped.
Yes.
Right.
Okay,
Like
so
he'll
you-
go to box lunch and he'll film himself like getting in line, getting the pop
So you're
beer.
more of an exclusive hunter.
Well, I mix it up. I do
Yeah.
everything.
That's what's up, man.
And we also do it on Instagram, and get the word out there and stuff like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and Martin, do you have any outside of your IG where you show off your Pops World?
No, man.
All right. So what's your IG handle, bro?
UMcanes. No, is it UMcanes1882? I forgot my
UMcanes1882. Vince, what's your IG?
You can check me out on YouTube and Instagram at Justageekfromthe305,
Just
and
a
also on
Geek from the
Facebook.
305.
Yes.
Just a geek, no underscores, no nothing. All
No
together.
underscores or nothing.
Seth, what's
So my IG handle, of course, I've got to be the complicated of the third. So mine is what's poppin'. So that's WHATS _
okay?
POPPIN period _
Period underscore. Okay, what's popping? What's underscore popping?
Yeah,
period underscore.
And then
Yeah, that is pretty
yeah,
complicated.
it is complicated. And then you can find me on YouTube on MCE, Marvelous Collectibles and Entertainment. It's me and my buddy Jorge. Me and him have been best friends for well over a decade. So me and him just it's funny because people laugh when me and him together are on camera because his sense of humor is very dry.
Yeah.
And I just say whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
There's no filter. There's no filter with me. Obviously, you know that from talking to me. I mean, and we always joke, and I always call myself the voice of the voiceless because I say the shit that people are afraid to say.
Yeah.
Because I'm just blunt like that.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
I'm sure that's what a lot of the Pops collectible people like. You know?
well, and that's the thing because and that's I think what separates me from a lot of other YouTubers that do what we do because they gear most of that stuff to make it more kid friendly and stuff like that. I don't fuck kids.
Yeah, fuck kids. This is for the adults.
This is for the
who like to play with toys.
Yeah, this is for the adults. This is for the adults who like to collect.
Yeah.
I mean, and like he's saying, like we're up at the ass crack of dawn
looking for the Pops.
waiting outside of these stores. And again, a lot of people don't realize how much time, especially YouTubers, how much time we actually invest into this stuff between going to the places, filming, editing, and all this back end stuff that people don't know about.
This man's breakthrough was the Michael Jordan pop.
Yeah, the Michael Jordan
first one that came out in Foot Locker. And we woke up like at 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning.
2 in the morning to go.
2 in the morning?
We were in line. There were some kids that were sleeping.
In line.
Midnight.
They're in front of the line sleeping.
Midnight.
Trying to get a Michael Jordan Pop.
So there were like about 20, 30 people that showed up. There was only 16 of them. Oh, sorry, 8.
Yeah, there was 8.
There were 8 Funko Pops that were there. They were only selling, right?
Only 8 in that store?
Only 8 in that store.
And it's the only
And
store
there
in
were
South
like
Florida.
20, 30 people that showed up. The manager came out and he goes, "Line stops here. Everyone."
You see people
Were
walking
you guys
up.
in the 8?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we were 8. You see people walking up to me. Hey, let me give you,
Money. Just to get
Which
in
you
that
should have
night
taken it
together.
because right now it's worth $10, but we should have taken the $50 at that time.
That's
But
crazy, dude. I mean, if you really gotta get it, you really gotta get it, bro. You gotta put in the work, you know?
Yeah, then that's the whole thing. That's what we do. We get up early. We hit the streets, and
This
especially-
reminds me of like the sneaker community.
Oh,
the sneaker community.
I'm a huge sneakerhead too.
Yeah.
So don't even, dude. I've got Jordans in my closet that I've never even put on my feet.
Yeah, that's how like sneaker
Oh, yeah.
community
Oh, yeah.
collection is. It's crazy. Well, it's crazy, bro. Well, dog, I really, really appreciate you guys coming through.
no, thank
Oh
you.
no, I
bro.
appreciate you having us on.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
no,
this
thank
was a blast.
This is awesome, man. Like exposing the world to the Funko Pop collectors. Not only Funko Pop, but like the hot toys and all that other shit that like a lot of people don't really get to experience. They don't really know. They go watch the movies, but they don't know the whole fandom behind it, like everything behind that.
Let me just say real quick. Shout out to this pop here is from Tanner Hodges.
Okay.
He made we just not collect them, but we know people that make pops.
What do you mean make pops?
They make
Like,
custom ones.
They make.
Custom-made pops.
That was the contest that Funko had.
It was a Funko contest
Okay.
that he designed his own pop.
All right.
And he won, and they made a pop out of
They
him.
made it official.
They made it official. It's called Bad Boy.
That's sweet,
And they
man.
released it on their website.
And released on their website. Really, really cool.
It's a really nice pop.
Shout out to Tanner. So,
Nice. Shout out Tanner, bro.
Yeah. And also shout out to the Funko Collector Society. That's a group that I'm in. There's a bunch of other YouTubers and Instagrammers that, we help out each other. And everybody's great. Everybody's out. So much love. Funko
Yeah,
Collector
man.
Society on Instagram.
I highly recommend everybody who's interested in collectors and things like that to get in contact with you guys and like try to like be part of the community, see how they could jump in, see where the collections are, where the exchanges are. Like that's the Mikazuki BTS collectors exchange that's here in South Florida. There's more of those, right?
Oh, there's a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff
There's a
that
bunch
goes. Stuff that goes like this Saturday. They actually have something at the Broward County Convention Center. It's called
Okay.
the Gamer Expo.
Uh-huh.
But they also are going to have like collectibles there and stuff too. So there's little mini cons that happen throughout the year. So there's that. There's Florida SuperCon. There's MegaCon in Orlando.
Yeah.
There's stuff
They have
that
like
happens.
little pop and swaps.
You got
There's
your
also
ear to
pop and
the-
swaps.
There's
to the,
a
like,
nowhere.
to the ground, right?
Oh, social media is huge. Social media is such a huge tool for us when we're trying to find stuff and keep up to date with what's going on. And because there are people, I don't know how these people, but they get information. They get information before a lot of us do. But there are people out there that do that, and they're kind enough to share it.
Yeah.
you know.
Sweet, man. Yeah, it's because I'm sure there's a lot of, like, for you guys to know that there's an exclusive to come out here, there, and that, you got to, like, stay all the time looking for new information, looking where to look
Yeah.
at and things like that. Definitely, bro. So, like, I would say you guys are in the forefront. You guys are the forefront of that. But anybody who wants to just step into the world should follow you guys. So they can know more or less in which direction
Wish
to
you
look.
the best.
Yeah. Yeah, and wake up at 2 a.m. and go buy pops and shit.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, if anybody wants to wake up with me at 2 o'clock in the morning and tag along, you guys are more than welcome to. I mean,
Definitely.
I don't know how much fun I am at 2 o'clock in the morning, but still.
For sure. Right now, you're a blast.
You're fine.
You're
Yeah,
promised
I'm
a good time no
fine.
matter
You need
what
a
time it
Snickers
is.
at that time,
No,
too?
no, no. No, at that point, I'm probably like on my third Red Bull already at that point.
Shit. Well, thank you once again, guys, for coming through, talking to us at the Bola podcast, letting us know what's popping off in your world. I appreciate that kindly. Thank you once again for showing us the collectibles world, showing us the pop world. And until the next time, if you guys really enjoyed this, share this with your friends. If you didn't like this, share this with your enemies. But just share this motherfucker, all right?
I like that
Next one.
shit.
Thank you for having us, man. Thank you.
You heard it there first. I want to especially thank my dogs, Martin, UMcanes1882. I want to thank Vincent, Just a Geek from the 305. And I want to thank Seth, what's_poppin' . You know what it is, MCE, all day on YouTube, repping that Funko Pop world, buying all them crazy expensive things. It's a dope hobby and a fun, safe hobby you could get yourself into. You already know if you want to get into it, how you do it. Reach out to my boys, and I'm sure for sure they're going to hook you up. Hasta la próxima. Y'all know what it is. Send me a text. Send me a DM at Bola Podcast. Send me some production ideas at Phresh for some video production ideas. Holla at your boy. Hasta la próxima. Peace.